understanding embryonic circulation. Like in embryonic period, what is happening and what are the changes happening just after the birth. So I start with a simple diagram that will wake you up a bit because some of you may be still sleeping early in the morning. So this is a circle. This is atrium. Okay? So one atrium will make you two atria. The reason it is happening at this stage, and here is the foramen ovale, right? The reason it's happening because in embryonic life, everything, whatever the heart is receiving, try to push it towards the aorta very quickly. Very quickly. There's not much time left. So whatever it gets, it goes to the aorta. The aorta then circulates all the tissues. In adult, we have some time. We take a dip. We are not dead, because if you do, when I do, the oxygen is not coming, you are actually, carbon dioxide is going on. Okay, and you do only 16, 17 times in a minute. But, you do 16, 17 times, and the rest of the time, till a minute goes, you are not dead. Because you have time, but in embryonic life, the oxygen should go quickly to the aorta because the baby is not doing the respiration. There's no breathing going on in that. You understand the problem? So this is happening, and I'm going to draw that in a second, that how quickly it is going to the aorta. What I'm going to draw over here is scientific but not good. Then I'll draw the real one. This is just for your understanding and very simplistic view that embryonic life, how the circulation is achieved so that oxygen can go to the aorta very quickly. That's the whole purpose. That's the only purpose, that left umbilical vein is going to the heart but bypassing the liver, ductus venosus. Why it is not going into the liver? Because the liver will consume the whole oxygen. And the rest of the body will not get anything. So we don't want anything to, very quickly, whatever this way, that way, when you are in a hurry to come over here, you bypass Takasushi or some road, and so that's the whole point. Very quickly you have to come. And that's the reason that why the septum is forming, but the idea is to push it towards the left, and I'll draw it in a second. So again, this is not a very good drawing, but give you 1,000 word. Now, this is a ventricle. Right ventricle, left ventricle. So I'm drawing, if I draw something over here, what is the name of this? Pulmonary artery, a pulmonary trunk. And if I draw something like, what is this one? Aorta. Very simplistic drawing. This. Now, the blood which is coming to the heart, which is basically the atrium, and I'll draw again to make you aware that what is happening, that endocardial tube, at the bottom there is sinus venosus, receiving all the blood and going up. So receiving blood over here, but immediately it doesn't work that way unless there is a partition and then moving the blood towards the left very quickly. Look what is happening. So some blood, it is 80% blood is going over there. There are around 20% blood, still it is going to the right ventricle. So the blood is coming, and say for example, I put it in a different color, say over here, this is the lung, this is the lung. So the blood should go over here now, but it does not allow that, then it will be a futile exercise if the blood is going to the lung. Doing what? Doing nothing. There's no oxygenation, the baby is not breathing. So it has another channel going to the aorta very quickly. It is supposed to go over here, okay, and this it is supposed to go over here. There are two pulmonary artery, one over here, one over there. I'm not drawing that part. But this is, so the blood is going over here a little bit. It is a little bit going. And look what is happening. It's quickly going to the aorta. The whole purpose is like this. And over whatever the blood is coming from here to here is also going to the aorta. You got it? What is the name of this one? Ductus arteriosus. Now I put it in a very big one. It is not that big. So the real diagram, I'm just going to make it very quickly. It is not that big, but I'm going to draw that in a very scientific way. It is scientific, but it is not very good drawing. The question you may ask, well, Dr. Paul, you are saying the blood is not going to the lung. How the lung is surviving? Two reasons the lung is surviving. One you know, one I have to tell you. Quick.
Because the ductus have artery to the lung.
Which artery?
That you draw here.
This one?
Yeah.
No,
It's not possible.
no. Remember, very interesting. Remember, pulmonary artery does not give oxygen to the lung tissue. It is just there for the diffusion, but not for survival of the lung. So how the lung is surviving? You know already one thing.
Amniotic fluid.
Yes,
No, sir.
partly amniotic fluid is giving, some nutrition is going and everything. That's one. And second, when this is happening, there is an artery coming from the aorta, thoracic aorta. I should not draw from here. Thoracic aorta would be over here. It's supplying. It's called the bronchial artery. Bronchial artery comes from the thoracic aorta or the branches of that. Then it's supplying to the lung tissue. So when the blood is coming to the aorta, it supplies everywhere, in the brain, in the hand, in the leg, in the stomach, and everything. Yeah. Because it's quickly, we need it, very quick. Oxygen is coming to the baby through the umbilical arteries, the right and the left. The right disappears very quickly, so the left survives, and forming when the baby is born, ligamentum teres. This becomes ligamentum arteriosum, and in the liver is called the ductus arteriosus. These are three places the change is happening. Ductus arteriosus, ligamentum arteriosum. Foramen ovale will be closed, fossa ovalis, and this one is over there, which is called the ductus arteriosus, becomes ligamentum arteriosum. Yes.
You need to know that the septum secundum is over the.
Yeah. This is septum secundum,
You need to-
and this is the primum, and it moves. I'm coming to that.
And then during after birth it comes.
Yeah, it's coming now. And the reason for that is this is the first time after the birth what is so. I'm going to draw also after the birth what is happening. These are forming now. These are, what are the name of this?
Pulmonary vein.
Pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein is forming at that time. And when the baby is born, now look at what is happening. The baby is born, the first time the blood is pouring into the atrium through the pulmonary vein. First time. So the left atrial pressure goes up. And that's the reason that this one, the septum primum, is hitting against septum secundum. Not the other way around.
Yes.
We ask in the exam, which one is hitting to what? Primum against secundum. Makes sense. So this is closed now. So blood is not. So this is also closed. You got it? And now the blood is coming from the right atrium to the right ventricle, so the blood can come over here and then goes over here and over here for oxygenation. And then comes back to the left atrium. This one is coming through this one and come. So that takes a little time. We all can survive with a little time. But in embryonic life, the baby cannot survive unless the oxygen is there. If mother does for a prolonged period of time that, no oxygenation for mother, the baby will die. 200% the fetus or the embryo is depending on mother. 200%. The oxygen is the most, oxygen and nutrition. Uterine artery in the uterus, then it goes to the placenta, then there is a gap. You remember the 4 layers? That's the placental barrier. Then the umbilical vein starts. It is called vein, although taking the oxygenated blood because it's going towards the heart. That's why it is a vein. Anything going towards the heart, vein. But it is carrying oxygenated blood. Look at this. Anything going towards the heart, that's why we call pulmonary vein. But it's oxygenated. It is very scientifically correct. Now, I will draw, as I promised, a nice diagram, which is more scientific, and you should practice that too.